Hi, how's it going everyone? This is Muzza from RevTune TV, and today I'll be working on COVID 33 and we're going to start doing the suspension. I'm going to fit the coilovers, tighten up the adjustable arms, and see if we can get this thing off the stand and see if we can maybe get it ready to take it for a run. So let's go have a look. Okay, so here's the coilovers. So the coilovers here, I've got to preset them. See how the spring is loose? So when I set coilovers, I make sure that the spring is pretty much just, they're not loose. You just tighten them up until they just touch, so they don't have any free play. And then the bottom bit here, when you got full height adjustables, so these are full height adjustable coilovers, you adjust the base. So the spring tension doesn't change, but the length of the actual strut changes, and that changes the height of your car. So we're gonna pull out the struts out of this thing. Okay, so we pulled the back seats out of the car, parcel shelf out, and then we got Andrew inside. And Andrew's undoing the strut tops for the rear shocks. So they're 12mm bolts, and there's two he's undoing. So we'll undo them. So that's these top mounting bolts here. So once you undo them, then underneath, you got the lower mounting bolt there, and then the strut comes out. And then to put them in, normally you might have to put a jack underneath here on the control arm, and then jack up the lower control arm so you can line up the bottom bolt. Okay, so we've got the standard strut here on the left, and then the coilover on the right. Now it's got lowered king springs already fitted to it. But as you can see, the height difference. So straight away when we bolt this coilover in, roughly, man, it looks like it's about 4 inches lower. So what I'm going to do with coilovers with the height, you sort of got to, what I do, I usually measure off the standard one, see what the height of the car is, and then adjust it from there. But I might just bolt these in, and then once it's in the car and the car's lowered, I might have to custom adjust it from there. So let's set the preload up on the springs. So at the moment, the spring should just turn a little bit, but these are tight, so I'm going to back off the preload on the spring so it's just touching. Then I'll measure the height on both my rears to make sure they're exactly the same, left to right, and then we're going to put them in. All right, for you guys that don't know how to adjust coilovers, these are called C-spanners, and these are the tools used to adjust the coilover nuts. So you can hold it while you loosen it at the same time. What I do, I spray a bit of WD-40 on the threads just to make it easier for me. They recommend to keep them dry because dirt can stick to it if you lube it. And then later it makes it even harder to adjust later on. But I always just spray a bit of lube, man, just to help me adjust it so it just spins freely. Okay, so I've backed off my adjusters. So it's tight, the spring, we can just turn. And then to make them equal, I've measured from the top strut to the bottom of the spring mounting plate. Okay, so I've set the height of the coilover. So I measure from the base height to the bottom. And then you loosen the nut off and you turn the shaft on the spline until you get the length right. Okay guys, the coilovers are in. What I found whilst checking the arms, so this is the adjustable camber arm, and see the pillow ball, it's all worn out. So I had excessive play in the left hand rear wheel, and it's because I'm guessing this wasn't fitted properly, because when I checked the car, this was on a big angle and the board popped out. So I think whoever tightened it didn't tighten it straight, and it caused it to wear on a weird angle. So I've changed that arm as well. Okay, next we're fitting the front coilovers. So we undo the two strut top mounts there. Underneath here, we undo the bottom bolt there. And then you just get a pry it off here, and pulls out. I've already preset the front one, exactly like the rear. Okay guys, I also found on this car that someone's put adjustable caster rods, and they've just slapped them in, haven't adjusted them. And on this car, the caster was that far back, it was hitting the guard, or inside the wheel arch guard. So I'm gonna set them up. You really need to put them on a wheel alignment to get them exact or get them spot on. So what I normally do is I just copy, I had an identical arm, like a factory arm, spare. So how I set them up, I usually just set them up exactly like the factory length. And then once the car's on the wheel liner, you can usually adjust your caster from there. So that's it, coilovers are in, done. Got the adjustable caster rods in, done. I just temporarily set up the adjustable lower arms. I've just set them equal for now. And then once I got on the wheel liner machine, I can work out how if I want to adjust it out. So the more you adjust out the lower control arms, the more negative camber you'll get. And it'll also widen your track. So at the moment, my front wheels are sitting like that. So they're sitting inside the guard there. Looks like it's maybe got 2-degree neg. I have to see when the car's on the ground. I also have to see what the height's like. I might have to readjust the height. Caster, you can see it's facing forward a little bit, but I really need to put this thing on the wheel liner machine and see where my specs are and adjust from there. Okay guys, I had to do some pre-wheel alignment adjustment before the car even left. So this front wheel was way too far forward still, so I adjusted my caster rod back. I pretty much measured from the inside of the guard to the wheel here, and I've made it 5-inch, so make them equal. So I've adjusted it there. And then my toe was way out. So this wheel here was towing in hard. When I went to adjust it on the tire end, it looks like this car's had a new rack, or Rico rack put in it. It was maxed out on this side and it had almost over on the outside. So I'm guessing whoever put the rack in this car didn't centralize it properly. So basically what I did is I pulled the steering wheel off, but I kept the high cast centralized. And then I moved the wheel across, refitted the steering wheel, and then adjusted my toe. And then when you look under the car, the thread length now is pretty much equal. I got the wheels sitting roughly equal. So, and then once I put on the wheel line, I can adjust it to like spot on, like schmicko. So that's pretty much set up now. Looks okay by eye, like wheel alignment's gonna be out by spec, but way better than before. This thing was like a crab banana. So I got everything pretty much as straight as I can get it by eye. And now I'm gonna pretty much get off the stands and just tote up this engine thing and see if we can go for a drive.